with franchising being talked about recently, we can predict that what's going to be talked about as well as salary caps. And I just think it's too early to start implementing salary caps. And obviously, the easiest way to implement a salary cap is to cap teams in that they only have a certain amount of money that they can spend for the players and to build a roster. And so I want to go back in history a little bit and talk about the NFL and the NBA, because the NFL, it started in like the 1920s, and then it implemented its salary cap in 1993. And NBA had a salary cap in the 1940s, but it was abolished after one season, and then they restarted the cap at 1984. So we can see that there's this huge gap of when their business started and then when salary caps were implemented. And to say that League of Legends should just start right off and do a salary cap, I think is kind of dishonest, and it's not really that bright of an idea. I mean, we're not even 10 years into the start of League of Legends. So I think it's just too early to make that call right now, especially when we're trying to do franchising at the same time. And I'm not saying that we should follow traditional sports in every aspect, like we should respect their wisdom and respect what tips that they can give us. For instance, like with the whole ESPN broadcasting rights that was just done for a deal with League of Legends, because ESPN knows how to broadcast, sports. They know how to do production. They know how to do advertising, and that's good. That's things that we can learn and build off of. But we need to see if their models could actually fit our landscape. We can't just immediately transplant everything that they do into our sport. It's different. This is a new era. This is a new age, and we need innovation and to combine the old ideas with new ideas as well. So we can't just take everything from traditional sports. So with that caveat, I think salary caps, they hinder the growth of superstars in the sense that if you have a team budget, that you can only spend a certain amount upon your roster, well, then you're not going to be able to pay for, two superstars on a team. You're going to have to decide on maybe one. And even then, they're going to take a pay cut to possibly what they've been making currently right now. And to talk about whether what they're being paid right now is fair and just, I think is also too early to say, because the market is shifting and changing, and you have to allow the market to adjust and equalize to itself. So, to hinder the growth of the superstar salary so early, I think is the incorrect way to go about it. And also, salary caps can also mean a bad thing for rookies, in that basically they're going to get the bottom feeder portion of what you can afford for a team roster. So we could see all these rookies taking a lot more pay cuts as well. And I think a good thing about salary caps is that it demands good coaches, in the sense that they can't just buy a whole super team and expect that to carry themselves and to win, their regional championship and then go into Worlds and possibly win that. These coaches need to be on top of their game and to figure out, how that they can meld a particular roster together and kind of budget their roster correctly. And as well as analysts too. Analysts are going to have to step up their game as well if a salary cap is implemented. So in that sense, yeah, the whole management process has to definitely step up if salary caps are done. But I also think another great thing about it, I guess, is that it keeps the middle tier and upper tier players from having inflated salary. With the whole recent thing of inflated salaries due to VC backing, and basically all these teams, they could just go to a VC, and the VC goes to them and says, hey, I want to make a team, just pick whoever is a free agent right now, the best free agents. I don't care what they cost. Money is not a concern for me. So just get whoever you want, and let's create the best League of Legends team that we can, so that I can build my brand extremely fast. So with salary caps, you can't do that anymore, which is fantastic. I mean, we've seen moves like Team Ember with them. I think they were the only team that revealed all of their players' salaries, and that these bottom tier or middle tier players were getting paid an insane amount just for being on a challenger team. And that's kind of the power that can disrupt the market when it comes to VC backing. So that's good, I guess, if we do have salary caps. And things like the Team Liquid, having a 10-man roster for their LCS team, like those things are less likely to happen. Moves like double lift going onto Team Liquid at the very end of the split, those moves are a lot less likely to happen. And speaking of which, I think subs may also become, the rookies, and that rookies won't really start on starting lines of rosters anymore. I mean, there could be a chance with the franchising because since you have your spot secured, you're willing to take a gamble on a rookie. But then again, these subs, which teams are probably going to start purchasing now, they're only going to have a certain amount of budget for their main roster, so then that's going to slim up their money for their subs. So we may just see subs being rookies instead. And so salary caps, I want to talk about with China and Korea, and that I think there could be a reshuffling of power if we do implement this in North America, in that the sense that maybe superstars aren't going to want to venture over to North America, because if they have the caps, well then they're not going to be able to afford multiple superstars over onto a specific team to import. So maybe we will see more middle tier or bottom tier LCK or LPL players being transferred over to NA. And I think what's really important is if there's a difference in caps between China and North America, it's going to cause a lot of market disruption, in the sense that if both areas have a cap and they're basically the same, accounting for foreign exchange currency and stuff. If they're the same, then that means it kind of region locks the areas, in the sense that you have less places to go that don't have a salary cap. So that means it's not really worth it for you to move over to China or move over to North America to get a better salary. So in the sense of that, it would keep more superstars in their specific areas. But if you have an imbalance to where North America only does it, then that means all the superstars in North America now have more options to move over to other places that don't have salary caps, to the LCKs, to the LPLs. So, it's kind of like with the fight of communism for America. And America was so adamant at fighting communism because they knew that once there are multiple countries that start doing communism, then it creates their system and more nodes to the system, so it gives exponential power to communism, right? Because there's more places that impose it. So if you move to another first world country, you aren't going to get a bigger pay because they practice communism as well. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that salary caps and communism are the same thing. I'm just saying that the more places that you have a system, it creates or it gives more power to that system, because it's all over the place. So you're stuck in the system no matter where you go. So in the end, I just think salary caps it's just too early to start. We need to allow the market to balance itself out, and just wait for this franchising thing to take off before we even start thinking about implementing a salary cap. Because it's kind of like a car. If you add too many new parts, to it, like you're building up your car and you're modifying it, and you add, this new super fast part, that makes your car go way faster, like a turbo or something. and then you add, suspension pieces, and you add like camshafts or whatever, and then your car breaks, you don't really know what broke your car. It's harder to detect exactly what broke the system. So to do franchising and salary caps at the same time, it's going to be difficult to track exactly what is breaking the system during that time, especially since you unsettle the market so much as well. So let's hold off on the salary caps, and let's just wait to see where franchising takes us. And well, if you guys like the video, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter at GG Izento, and you guys have a good day.